Okay, so I know this is kind of I'm a little late to the party with this, and I know this is also one of those weird videos, but trust me, has to be one of the worst reviews I ever seen, or at least most of the points I have seen, because I did try to watch the review, but literally at the first parts of the minutes, I had to drop it. Luckily, I did watch the two videos down in the description down below, which I recommend seeing it for a better, explanation on why this review is sucks. But yeah, the freaking IGN review about that new mouse game. Holy crap. Now, of course, this ain't too surprising. IGN has always been known for crappy reviews. Hell, they're even known for the infamous too much water thing. To the point where they probably copyrighted and patented it. I don't fucking know. But what is true is they have done some pretty bad reviews and stuff. And this review has to be one of the dumbest, if not the worst review in the modern century, because holy fuck. So for context, if you don't know, there was a recent new game called PI Mouse for Hire. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Do apologize, but we'll call it Mouse for Hire for now. Where, of course, is a brand new shoot 'em up game, and is seemed to be a pretty solid game. However, the reviewer of this game for IGN really just screw up on the word definition of review. The biggest issue, which is seen at the very beginning too, is the fact that he was putting way too much of his opinion in the game, in the review. Like, he literally thought he was walking into a detective game, when in reality he was just doing a shoot 'em up game. I am not joking. He literally even admits it at the very beginning. It's pretty clear he wanted a very dark, grim, noir game, probably with sex in it and all that gobbledygook. I am not even joking, especially how the intro app of this review plays out. But it's very weird. It is very weird because it feels like he doesn't understand that this game is supposed to be also part cartoon, similar to Cuphead, actually. Although this one is a bit different. This is more of the black and white cartoons than what Cuphead was more about. I don't know. I don't know how to do good with old cartoons thing, but you know what I'm saying. It is a old cartoon kind of game, which, by the way, makes it look very good. However, this guy really is like, it has to be the most dumbest things, to say the least, of how much he is so nitpicky with his own opinions of this game. Like, it's worth noting that the reason why this is an issue, in general, is when you're doing a review, you need to be mostly neutral. Like, you can put your opinions here and there. There's nothing wrong with that. But for the most part, I wouldn't blame a person to call me out and shoot me for saying that. Because, yeah, for the most part, you need to be neutral when doing a video game review, if not a review in general. Because, let's say, for example, I'm a big Pokemon fan. As you guys know, I did reviews with Pokemon. And I always kind of jokingly be forward about it. However, while I do love the series to the point of a lot of things, I'm not truly a blind person or a blind fanboy when it comes to this series. I mean, heck, Pokemon ZA, I give it like a very low score. I give the base game a B, while I give the DLC a C. Like, it is neutral, it is mixed. And don't get me started on how much I want to take a dump on Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. However, I also go into the explanations on why. Because for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, it is literally just copy and paste. They didn't even update the game for that. And as for ZA, I actually went into details and say the combat is a bit and the story is, of course, a bit bland. Which isn't always a bad thing, too. I try to be neutral. And probably a more better example would be Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which I absolutely love that game. However, I made it crystal clear to also, unlike what many expected, I even also actually went out of my way to showcase the glitches in that game. You can't forget about that. And yeah, some of the glitches isn't bad. I even have an extra proof later on when I started to replay it on my Switch Lite Yeah, I fall through the freaking floor. That's not a lie. I have proof of it. Go check the Gear Day channel for that. But in short, I am aware of that, and I make sure to put it in my review. I try to do it thoroughly. Like, I may not be the best reviewer, to say the least, and I don't mind getting shot if this is sounding a little bit hypocritical, but I do agree you have to be super neutral when it comes to reviewing a product or whatever. And this guy, oh, this guy is insane, to say the least. Like, this guy has some of the worst takes in goddamn. Again, it feels like he won a actual Dark Nerd war with sex in it. That's not even a joke. I may be over exaggerating, but it really feels like that. The reason why is, first of all, he complained about, oh, you're stopped and you have to shoot all these enemies, and then you go to the next level and you gotta stop and you gotta shoot all these enemies. Okay, first of all, that's what a shooter is in general. It's not even like what type of shooter is. I forgot what they call it, but that's a shooter in general, not even just that type of shooter. Like, for fuck's sake, you always do that. Resident Evil, trying to think of other shooters. Crap, I'm just blank on that. I know Medal of Honor, I think, Call of Duty, blah blah blah, like tons. And probably the best example, which is actually probably the best example to just show how stupid this review is BioShock Infinite. BioShock Infinite has the exact same shit going on as to this game, which, by the way, should be jokingly telling you how good this game might be. Because it has the same situation that this guy is complaining about, but yet IGN never probably complained about BioShock Infinite, apparently. Because not only that, you also are stuck in an area where you have to shoot up people, which, by the way, isn't a bad thing, because that's how you do progression. A progression needed in a fucking video game? Is the fact of the matter is, he also complained about, you're not shooting, you don't have a reason to shoot up these people. Do you really need to? I mean, the same thing could be said with BioShock Infinite. Like, yes, you do have a reason for a little bit for BioShock Infinite, but you can also make Booker DeWitt kill innocent people too. Same thing with, like, Grand Theft Auto. I don't know why I say fact, but excuse me, I'm ranting here a little. Like, Grand Theft Auto is a sandbox game, and no one complaining about what you're doing there. Like, and even then, there is a reason in that game. There has to be a reason. There's a fucking story in that game, say the least. Plus, also, as many point out, although I don't know if it's a good argument or not, it is a cartoon at the end of the day. Like, Cuphead, you actually do have to hunt down those people, and yes, there also is a reason in Cuphead. But even then, you can, without context, you will also be thinking that same way. And yet Cuphead gets a better review kind of thing. It is fascinating because of that. Like, those are very dumb nitpicks, to say the least. Like, and the reason why I bring up Cuphead is part of his review is like, oh man, you're shooting this opera singer and blah blah blah. And I'm like, so do you do that in also Cuphead as well? Granted, it was an opera singer, but you're also on stage shooting a performer as well. What the flying fuck are you talking about? This has been... Hell, it even reminds me, this is weird too, because I also have another point with this game as well. It's also similar to, like, Parasite Eve as well. In Parasite Eve, the actual first encounter, which is weird to point this out, is in fact you're fighting Parasite Eve, and she's taking over a opera singer and all that. And you don't even know the reason what's really going on at the very start of the game. And yet that game is also considered great and all that. Like, huh? And I also bring up Parasite Eve a little bit is because one of it, like, to give you an idea how just stupid this review is. He quickly complained about, oh man, there's an alligator, you gotta fight in the sewer. That is like the most dumbest thing I ever heard. Like, yeah, it's a cliche, but is there really, like, what's with these reviewers hating cliches? That is literally the stupid thing. Like, no offense to Simpsons, but yeah, that was like the most dumbest thing in a planet. Like, you complain about cliches. Some are not even cliches. Like, what the hell? And you're telling me you don't want to fight an alligator in the sewer? And such. Like, what, you're expecting a Ninja Turtle to come out there? And it has happened before in games, such as literal Parasite Eve, and probably a bunch of others, like even something like Batman. I don't know, but I do believe you fight Killer Croc in a sewer. Like, this is common knowledge. Why are you complaining about it? It is very stupid, to say the least. And that is like, really just shows he just want, and that is super weird because I even wonder if he wants to literally review Chicken Police, because believe it or not, I used to have that game, believe it or not. And I play that game, and if I were to do a review, I would say it was pretty solid. Especially the fact of the matter is, and this actually leads to another stupid point. This is the fact that actually follows up and makes sure you know you're in the world you're in with the characters. That is also anthropomorphic, to say the least. It has pretty good story. And it also makes you realize, oh yeah, these are absolute characters, and it's kind of fun to do so. Like, for example, the Chicken Police saying cluck instead of fuck, which is actually brilliant. And the reason why I bring this up is this guy is literally so petty and picky. He literally complains about, to hide his crap, by the way, the literal lines of the whole entire game, like the whole voice acting and line of all that, or the dialogue. There we go. The dialogue of the game is just full of crappy cheese, and I want to take a supposed diarrhea on cheese and shit. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you're in a world with fucking mice. Second of all, there are cartoon mice as well, so you're in a cartoon mice-filled fucking world. Third, there's nothing wrong with that, especially since, again, it feels like he really wants a rated X or A, not a rated M either, a rated A adult fucking noir sex-filled game here, not with mice and stuff. In fact, that's actually the charm of this game, too. Like, it is not trying to be like the fucking Hellsink, you gotta murder everyone kind of thing, or, be like fucking Doom. It's doing its own thing. And that is unique. That is fine, to say the least. Sure, there's nothing wrong with putting darkness in the game, but also, there's also nothing stopping light stuff as well, and say the least. And and look, I also understand that people are allowed to not like dialogues in games, but to complain about it saying it's way too much or crazy when it's a game that is supposed to have that, and also complaining about it because of your opinions, is literally just dumb. And look, to my opinion, at least what I see, it doesn't seem like a bad thing, to my opinion, especially since, again, they're cartoon mice. And even then, they try their hardest to at least make it funny and punny. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the freaking Deadpool game has more puns than this game. And yet, my point is, this is insane. This is an insane review. And it feels like the person should not have reviewed it. And that's just final. It feels like they just wanted to take it down a notch because they thought it looks like a success or something. I don't know. I really do not know. But I do agree with the obvious problems what people are having with this review. And it's just nuts. It really is nuts. Like, I really feel like if it comes to reviews, they should be done by just not really, I mean, it is neutral, but it has to be done by a neutral person. And the only way that also this issue should have been fixed is to find a person who was willing to know what they're diving into, to say the least. For example, Good Vibes Gaming. They have tons of people who review. It's a group, of course. However, what makes Good Vibes Gaming much more trustful is the fact that they also make sure who's reviewing the game also know what they're getting themselves into, to say the least. For example, if it's like a Pokemon game, Derek is reviewing that. If it's like a Fire Emblem game, I'm blanking on the guy, I think it's Daniel, but Dan will review it. If it's Monster Hunter game, it's the other guy. And then there's Ash with Mega Man and so forth. Yes, they do cross over with some reviews, but hey, at least they know also what they're getting themselves into. That's when you do what you do in a review. That's actually also why I review games that I want to review and stuff, because I know what I'm getting myself into, and I know what to discuss and what makes it positive. And that's also another issue. This review in general has no positives. It's like he's literally just dumps dumping all types of negatives to this game, which really sucks because it does seem like a good game, to say the least. And yes, to get the elephant out of the room, I haven't played this game, but I have seen other reviews and seen the gameplay, and it's something I want to pick up, actually. But it is very weird that he just literally negatively reviewed this game and put his own opinions in it. It is just sucks. I know this is more a ranting video, but if there is a lesson for this, and it is true, literally play the games and review the games you want to. For example, I'm playing Dome Doctrine Life. I want to get that. I wanted to get that game. That's why I pre-order it. And trust me, I am doing a review. Probably going to be way more positive. But at least that's a game I know I'm getting myself into. And I actually want to do a review of that game, to say the least. Like, actually do it. Do it. Don't dumpster dive yourself into a game you do not have any idea of what you're doing with, and then complain about it in general. Like, this is not a review. This is just a literal just rant about, oh, I want a freaking war game with big boobies and shit. When in reality, this is just a general shooter game, which is fine. It has puns, but it's fine. It's a fucking cartoon-like game with mice in it. And there's nothing wrong with an alligator in a sewer. That is like the most dumbest thing I have ever heard. Like, I am stuck on that. That is like the worst idiotic thing on the planet. There's an alligator in the sewer. It's a 6. And it's super weird, too. Like, it is super idiotically weird. But anyways, yeah. It will never beat out, by the way, and I do want to jokingly mention this before I end this video. It will never beat out. It is probably the best comparison. It will never beat out that weird. So for context, when Sword and Shield came out, there was this one reviewer that his video was also taken by another video. I don't know. I think I had it in my review of Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is actually my first review of this channel. And this guy looked like a chain smoker. And this guy doesn't seem like he's into Pokemon at all. And he kept complaining like, there's this one Pacific Pokemon that ain't in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Where's the Sword and Shield? And all that, which is dumb. First of all, it's super dumb. But also, second of all, he's completely wrong, by the way. The Pokemon he's talking about, and I did jokingly show this, is Ace-Slash. And Ace-Slash is actually in the game. In fact, freaking Leon uses it in the final battle. And the reason why I bring this up too is even without that, it feels completely stupid because Sword and Shield is called that way because of the two legendary Pokemon with the Sword and Shield. You guys do realize that. Like, even before the game released, when you reviewed it, they showed the legendaries. Like, huh? Like, and that's what I feel about this. This is the exact same thing. It's just this is on a greater scale because the difference here is that was a chain smoker or some bullshit, and I'll admit, I'm probably wrong with that theory, but he definitely looks like one. Excuse me for that. But the point is, this is different because this is a normal person, and this is a game journalist who's doing this. Like, really? Even that guy has an excuse because he's just ranting on and hating Pokemon Sword and Shield. You don't have an excuse. Your job is to give a literal neutral review of a video game and see if it's worth for the public. I can't say much because I'm a normal guy, of course, but I have seen better reviews than this. Just saying. And they do a better job of keeping neutral. Again, there's nothing wrong putting your opinions in it, but you mostly have to stay neutral. And I don't mind getting shot for saying that opinion part because really, it's supposed to be mostly neutral. Anyways, this is Foxcat. Hopefully I help added to this weird discourse. And yeah, don't watch IGN. And alligators should be in sewers. Bye.